Hey everyone, Mako here. And yes, sorry, I've been gone for like a month or so. Apologies, I had a good reason. It was a private thing and I cannot really talk about it and I don't want to talk about it. But hey, I'm back now and there's a lot of things that I need to catch up on. So let's start off with this one. And by this one, I obviously mean Battlefield 6. You see, I was talking about how Battlefield 6 would turn out, hopefully, and I was mostly correct, and I'm positively surprised. So yeah, let's just talk a little bit about how Battlefield 6 released, how it's feeling right now, about things that the devs changed a little bit, about some things that I wish they still kept like it was in the beta, or if they should have changed some things more. Yeah, just overall my thoughts on the game. Although I am very happy to say that I was pretty much on point with saying that this game is gonna be a banger. But obviously, before we start, I would like to just say that hey, if you're going to enjoy this video, please hit a sub, leave a like, leave a comment. Also, tomorrow, which will be the 4th of November, at about 7 p.m. Central European time, I will be streaming on Twitch a game of Europa Universalis 5 because I'm very hyped about the game and I just wanted to share my first playthrough with anybody who wants to watch. So yeah, if anybody wants to pop in, that will be that Twitch link on the screen right now, 7 p.m. Central European time, 4th of November. I'll see you there. Now, back to the video. So, Battlefield 6. When I was talking about Battlefield 6 originally, I did say that I am kind of hoping that they would slow down the gameplay a little bit. I said that I hope they don't mess up the release. And honestly, both of these things are still standing. They did slow down the game actually, which is good. And on top of that, they also didn't make the game go to shit. I did say I liked the maps, and the maps that I liked are still there, but I did not think that the maps they added outside of the ones we had would be so much more fun. What do I mean by that? Well, for instance, when it comes to playing on big maps, I really very much enjoy playing on Operation Firestorm. Also, as of now, they added the Season 1 map, which is the California map. And I just want to say it's an okay map. I didn't really grow to like it yet, but I think it will grow on me. But like I said, the Firestorm map, the Operation Firestorm, absolutely amazing. I love it. It's got a lot of open space. It doesn't have the problem of these 3 lanes where you just go, like the, not Cairo map, the Spain map, the Iberian Castle or whatever it was called, where you have very clear free lanes where you go down and there's not really much to do in between. So yeah, Firestorm, absolutely great. There's another map, similar in vein, also a desert map by the way. I also like that one. And when it comes to the game modes, I thought I would be playing mostly Conquest, and that if I felt like playing a smaller map, I would be playing something like King of the Hill. Boy, was I wrong, because you see, we have Escalation, and I honestly think that Escalation just brings in that balance between large-scale battle and a small close quarter battle perfectly. You just start off on the big version of the map, right? And what you need to do is very much similar to Conquest or King of the Hill. What you need to do is to capture the most amount of points on the map. You start off with, I believe it was 7 points on the map, and when one of the sides holds the majority of the points, they start gaining progress towards one big point. When you get the big point, quote unquote, the whole map gets a little bit smaller. And I don't mean like, oh, the borders of the map are smaller. No, it's just some capture points are being removed. and now you have less capture points. So the fight constantly gets kind of condensed into a smaller and smaller area. And I think that this is a really good idea. You start big scale, and you just keep on condensing the battlefield into those key positions one by one. I had a lot of fun with this, and obviously there's vehicles in there, and you can just do many things. Also, for some reason, I was positively surprised by Breakthrough. I find Breakthrough maps, and specifically Breakthrough, not the close quarter version, the one with smaller amount of players. No, I'm talking like actual Breakthrough. It's really fun. Like having to defend these 2 points against an enemy that's trying to push in, and there being actual vehicles that you can also use. It's very fun. Obviously, again, I cannot stress this enough. I find Conquest to be like the baseline of the game, and it just being very good. And the one game mode that I very much like is Escalation. And when it comes to the close quarters maps, I think that while I like King of the Hill a lot as that fast-paced version of the game, I also very much enjoy the team deathmatch. And I'm talking specifically team deathmatch, not the squad deathmatch, because I feel like squad deathmatch is just like an ADHD fiesta where it's just you and your squad and you're against 12 other people and you just pray to God that you're fine. No, I'm talking team deathmatch when it's 8 versus 8 and it's just about kills. I find it fun. Obviously it's more fast paced, the map is way smaller, but it's just like a fun game mode that I can enjoy a little bit when I just don't feel like playing the big conquest game. Although I gotta admit, King of the Hill is still such a fun concept where everybody just kind of spawns in and tries to grab control of the points. Some people figure out some very interesting strats to do that. And when it comes to strats, I feel like I need to do a little bit of complaining, but not a lot. So when you play on big maps, and I'm talking Conquest, specifically Conquest, because on Escalation, you don't always get all of the vehicles, whereas on Conquest, I'm pretty sure you get the full swath of vehicles that you can use. Playing without an engineer is just a big pain. What I mean by that is no other class, except for, I believe it's Recon, that can have C4 if you do some achievements. No other class has any way of dealing with tanks. You can use your normal gun to shoot at a helicopter, and you can even sometimes snipe the enemy out of a helicopter, which is cool. Same goes for armored vehicles like standard jeeps. Same goes for fighter jets. And I find it cool because if you can actually shoot down a pilot, go for it. Looks sick as hell. But my god, tanks. Tanks are in this weird position where I feel like they are extremely squishy if enemy has like 2 or 3 engineers on them, as in shooting them constantly. Then they feel extremely squishy. But if you are not an engineer, you just have to pray that you are not the target. You have to pray that the tank did not see you, because you have no way of dealing with them. As far as I know, support doesn't have any way of dealing with a tank, and the only thing that does any amount of damage really to a tank when you play assault is a grenade launcher. And it's specifically, and I've tested it a couple times, if you hit it in the front, it will deal 4 damage, which is absolutely nothing. And if you hit it on a side, I think it deals 6, which again, absolutely nothing. And I feel like this is one of the things that kind of should be adjusted. And I think that the best way to adjust this is just to allow every class to use the anti-vehicle grenade that the engineer has. I feel like just being able to throw a grenade, because let's keep in mind that every class has a singular grenade except for assault, which can get 2 if you do well enough. I feel like at least it makes you feel like you can do something to the tank. And I think that this is enough. Just being able to toss that one grenade and just toss the grenade and you're done. Cool. That should be it. The anti-vehicle grenade doesn't even do that much damage to the tank, but it does more than a grenade launcher. I feel like this would be a good way of dealing with that issue, because then if you play close quarters games, you would obviously like take, I don't know, a flashbang or a smoke grenade or a frag grenade. Cool. And when you play Conquest and you know you'll be dealing with a lot of vehicles, you'll just use the anti-vehicle grenade just in case, you know, just in case you see a tank that's burning and you kind of want to just get rid of it ASAP. Bang, toss a grenade. Maybe it will kill it, maybe it won't, who knows, but you did something. And that's all. I don't want other classes outside of Engineer to get any more tools to deal with tanks and with heavy vehicles, because I feel like Engineer is the class to go with that. But just having something is good enough. Like in old Battlefield games, frag grenades, or HE grenades, I believe. Not frag, sorry, HE grenades, at least did some damage to a tank when he tossed it. Like in Battlefield 4, it did some damage. In Battlefield 2, it also did a little bit of damage. In here, HE grenades don't do anything. So yeah, that's why I'm coming from the side of give everybody anti-vehicle grenades and it should be good. So outside of that little bit of balance, I think that everything else, and tactics, sorry, I think that everything else is honestly fine. Like, snipers will obviously snipe you away, and it can be sometimes frustrating, but let's be honest, if you get shot from half a kilometer away, that's just a good sniper hit. Like, you just messed up, and that's it. Nothing you can do about it. There is nothing you can complain about with that one. If somebody is able to snipe you away from half a kilometer away or further, that's on you, not on them being OP. But outside of that, I think that I've had a lot of fun with Assault, again, like I did in the beta. But this time, it's not because I had grenades, because I only recently unlocked the grenade launcher. But figuring out creative ways to use the ladder has been such a fun experience, honestly. It's, you know, you just go around and sometimes you feel like you cannot really breach a place because there will be a dude with a shotgun or an SMG that's waiting on the other side of the door. Well, you see a window, just plonk down a ladder, climb through the window and go from upstairs and maybe surprise the guy. It's really cool, honestly, and the amount of moments where I could use the ladder kind of surprised me. It pains me that you cannot use it at all times, because I don't know, it feels like there's some like weird clipping issue or something, where sometimes it seems like a ladder should be able to reach a place, but it doesn't really matter. It still gives you a little bit of verticality and a little bit of creativeness on top of being able to destroy many of the buildings on the maps. So yeah, on big maps, tanks rule, and you basically need to have a lot of engineers to deal with them. Whenever there isn't as many tanks in play, like let's say there's just like one per map on each side, I feel like it's fine, because sometimes you will have two engineers that will try dealing with the tank, sometimes that you won't. But aside of that, I am so glad that EA slowed down the game. The animations are slowed down, reload times slowed down, recoil on weapons mostly, I think, increased. Which means that you don't really have these ADHD Call of Duty kids that just try to slide cancel everywhere and just fucking do laps around you while shooting it down with laser precision. You actually need to try aiming down and hitting a guy, which, again, big plus, because that feels like an actual Battlefield game and not like Call of Duty. Important distinction in my opinion. So yeah, I'm happy that the devs listened about this. Yeah, I think that's just like my entire take on that. I'm just happy that they slowed it down. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say when it comes to tactics and maybe some complaints about this side of the game. Let's go back to some other things actually. So I kind of have like this tiny wish. It's not a big one, but I would love to see maps like Gulf of Oman and Strike at Karkand come back to Battlefield 6 as like fully fleshed out maps. Maybe Dragon Valley. Dragon Valley was also a cool map. Basically just a bunch of like Battlefield 2 maps, maybe a couple of Battlefield 4. I don't really know about the Battlefield 3 maps, but these maps were really good, and I think that with the current formula of Battlefield 6, I think they would just match perfectly. Oh yeah, and one more positive thing I have to say, my god, the leveling up system currently feels good. It was worse at launch because you would get less XP, which felt kind of like a grind fest at some point, but the current system kind of just like gives you this dopamine hit that you kind of just keep on playing because you want to hear that level up sound again. I don't know, somebody should give the guy that designed the leveling up UI after the game and the sound designer for that, somebody should give them a raise because they freaking nailed it, getting all those bonuses, all the dinging sound and all the sounds when you level up and you get rewarded. Absolute masterpiece. Actually makes you want to play the same class again because you want to hear the next unlock. You see the next thing that's waiting for you and you're like, oh, I want to get that. Great. And you didn't even need gacha for it. And that's the best part. You can actually create a good leveling system without needing to go into the gacha things. So yeah, that's a positive and I honestly love it. It's really fun. One thing that is kind of weird to me is that some of the things that we had in beta are locked out like way down in the leveling tree. Like I remember I had to get to level I think 13 to unlock an RPG 7 for engineer, which is kind of awkward because I would have thought that RPG is the way to go instead of having the law missile as the first unlock for an anti-vehicle for engineer. Same goes with ladder, although no, I backtrack on that. Ladder is a good idea for assault on level 1 because it just allows you to do some more creative things, and if everybody just got a grenade launcher at level 1, nobody would even try the ladder. This way I think that people tried out the ladder, and some people like me for instance will stick with the ladder even though they will have a grenade launcher unlocked. So no, I don't have a complaint with that. But specifically the RPG 7 versus law and engineer kind of feels weird. Also, attachments, still good. There's way more attachments than there were in beta, specifically when it comes to scopes and optics. But I still have that weird complaint, well, not really complaint, but like a wish that they increased the points cap for attachments by like 5 or 10, or maybe lower the cost of some of the attachments by 5, so you can kind of like tweak your weapon a little bit more. Although that's not as much of an issue. It's still enjoyable to kind of figure out what you actually want in your weapon. For instance, I'm still running with the slug round shotgun and I still pretend it to be my designated marksman rifle, which by the way, let's be frank, even though you get less ammo with the shotgun, it's way better as a designated marksman rifle compared to an actual DMR, and it's kind of disappointing because the point of a DMR is to be good at long ranges to mid ranges, like actually being effective, and you need like 3 hits with every DMR to even do anything at this point. Might as well just like switch your assault rifle or carbine to single fire mode and just tap the enemy from afar. Instead of using a DMR, you will get better results. Less recoil, more actual accuracy. Like, just please fix DMR. Fix goddamn DMR. But yeah, no. Unlocks overall, except for that DMR bit, it's good. I like it. I very much like it. And the unlocks being tied to how much you play with the weapon is also just a good idea. Obviously, it's nothing new, but it's just a good idea, and I like it. And the more you play with the weapon, and specifically, it's not the more you kill, the more you deal damage with the weapon, the faster you level up with it, which is, I just think it's great. I really like it. So now let's go into the Season 1 stuff, because I don't really want to touch on Battlefield Portal, because I think the general consensus is that it's a good idea, and I don't really have anything to add there. It's just, you know, community-made maps are a way to go to keep your game alive, so overall a positive, nothing to add there. But let's go straight into Season 1 stuff. I do not know how the Battle Pass works. Honestly, I tried figuring out if there is actually like a free track. If the 2 weapons that you apparently get in the battle pass, are they free and you just need to unlock them by playing, or is it stuff that you need to buy? I am not a fan of the battle passes being added into Battlefield 6. I think that the game itself, like baseline, kind of stood on its merits and it was really good. And in my opinion, if they really wanted to monetize something, they should be adding like a couple of free maps every couple of months, and also like add an additional map pack with like, I don't know, maybe some old maps from old Battlefield games, right? That would be a good idea. But man, I know that microtransactions were coming into Battlefield 6, but I just don't feel it. I'm never gonna buy a battle pass in Battlefield 6, no way. And the Battle Royale, I haven't played it, and I genuinely don't think will ever play it. From what I could tell from my friends who played it and from people on YouTube that played it, it's just a standard Battle Royale. Like, nothing special about it. It's kind of like a Warzone but in Battlefield, so I don't really feel a need to play it. I'm just happy that the California map is added to actual map pool and you can actually play it, because like I hope it will grow on me. Right now, not a big fan, but I hope it will grow on me. Also, I still need to commend the devs of the game. My PC isn't the strongest anymore. I think it like barely hits the minimum requirements for the game, and yet I'm running on at least 60 FPS, if not more. I think the only times I had like big stutters was when there was an actual insane amount of explosions on my screen at once. Like, I saw that like once a helicopter fell down, a tank exploded right next to it, and there were like a couple people who were throwing explosives. That's when my performance kind of went down. But overall, even on a big battlefield where there's like a huge amount of jets flying around and helicopters and stuff's happening just overall on the map, it's running smooth. It's good. I'm really happy that they managed to do this, because it just kind of shows everybody that, hey, maybe you shouldn't do Unreal Engine 5, maybe you should try figuring out your own engine, because if you know your engine, you know how to optimize. Also, test on weaker machines instead of just playing on the highest end specs, because nobody's gonna be playing on a 5090 constantly unless they're a streamer. So yeah, just positive stuff about Battlefield 6 with like a couple things sprinkled in, but generally, really good game. And I can honestly still recommend it. It was very fun, and I'm glad that EA didn't ruin it yet. So yeah, if you ever see me, just hop on in and say hi. Also, there was this one guy, Bill, that was playing in the Manhattan map, and he decided to drive a tank into that middle area between 2 buildings where you have like only 4 entries, 1 from each side, with 4 engineers that just planted mines around that place and just kept on fixing his tank. Screw you, guy. Screw you, dude. That was annoying. I mean, good for you that you can do it. It's a valid strat. Still, I got annoyed. But yeah. Anyway, that's all I had to say about Battlefield 6. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, leave a sub, and yeah, remember, Europa Universalis 5 tomorrow. I also have another video in the making that I will be releasing soon. So yeah, I'm back and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.